for taking time out of your busy day to join us. My name's Jenna. I'm with Emerging Destinations, and we represent cool companies in cool places. And one of those cool places that we have the privilege of working with is the Guyana Tourism Authority. So Emerging Destinations works alongside the Tourism Authority in the promotion of the destination to the travel trade in North America. So we are very happy and honored to be members and representatives of the amazing destination of Guyana, of which you'll hear a little bit more about here momentarily. But before I introduce Michael, who is also up there on your screen, I'm just going to introduce or tell you a little bit more about Emerging Destinations, where to find our webinars, and of course go over a couple of housekeeping notes before we officially get started. So our Emerging Destinations website is officially relaunched. So we have a new website. We're still working out a few little kinks, but everything should be up and running there. So you can find all of our previously recorded webinars, whether it be for Guyana or for somewhere else in the Americas or Africa, etc. You can find those on our Emerging Destinations website, as well as our Emerging Destinations YouTube channel. And if there is, for some reason, I don't know if you are maybe coming in from Guyana or just dropping in for only have a few minutes to join us today, but I will be recording this session. So we will definitely be sending the recording out to everybody later this week. So if there is a reason that you miss Michael's presentation on Iwokrama or miss the start or the end, we will be definitely sending that out to you later this week so you can get filled in about everything Iwokrama. And then last but not least, we will also be doing a Q&A session. So at the end of Michael's presentation, we encourage everybody to please type through any questions that you might have. And you can do that using the GoToWebinar control panel. So please type those through. We love to hear what you have to say. And we, of course, have Michael here joining us, who's a wealth of knowledge. So please utilize his knowledge and ask those questions. So I think those are all the housekeeping items I need to go over. Now, to do the introduction of who you see up there on your screen. So as I mentioned, Emerging Destinations has been working with Guyana Tourism Authority since 2019. So today we're going to hear a little bit more about one lodge in particular, which is the Iwokrama River Lodge. And Michael Patterson, who's joining us today, he's the Assistant Operations Manager at the Iwokrama International Center for Rainforest Conservation and Development. So he's been there for, he just told me, 9 years now. So he's got lots of information and stories, etc., to share with us. So I'm going to wrap up my side on there, but I will join you back at the end for Q&A. So if you do have any thoughts that pop up throughout his presentation, please type those through using the GoToWebinar control panel. Thanks for joining us, and over to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Jenna, and welcome all to our little webinar that we are hosting today. So just a little introduction of Iwokrama, what we do, who we are, where we're located, some of the products and services that we have, and how you could partner with us as tour operator travel agencies and get the word out in destination Guyana, and in particular Iwokrama's River Lodge. Next slide. Great, so just to give you a background exactly who we are, where we're located, what we're involved in, we're taking this as Guyana's gift to the international community, or Guyana's gift to the world. This was offer made to the international community some 20, 25, 30 years ago by the then president of Guyana, Hugh Desmond Hoyt, where they set aside a portion of land right in the middle of Guyana to demonstrate that we could use the forest in a way that you could have benefits along the line for local communities and the international community. One of the main things that we have outstanding basically at Iwokrama, it's a well-studied area. In our initial stages, we had a lot of research and for what we have, where we have it, the quantity that we have. And it's a wildlife hotspot area location. A lot being done on conservation, a lot of research activities has been done, local communities involvement, etc. That's another key foundation of the success of Iwokrama, especially the locals. We have about nearly 7,000 indigenous communities that we work along with. At Iwokrama, we boast of ourselves of having access or easy access to wildlife sightings. So group coming through from time to time, they spend 2 to 3 nights going on several different tours that you will hear along the presentation, and giving them access to wildlife sighting. We are in forested areas, so it's forest all around. Presently, I'm at the lodge, and if I look around, it's just forest continually. It's all green. We do have several seasons, 2 seasons actually. That rainy season when things get a little bit more greener, but the air is fresh, surrounding is clean, and that's what we boast in terms of having our customer service. Again, it's genuine Guyanese hospitality, taken from the community of itself, the local folks. Over 90% of our employees are from the communities. So basically that's in terms of what Iwokrama, who we are, what we want to do. Next slide, Jen. Next slide, Jen. Right, as I mentioned, about 90% of our staff are from the communities, and we have a system where we bring in staff from various communities. We have about 20 local communities that surround Iwokrama, especially in the North Rupununi. Whilst we are not in part of the Rupununi, we are in Region 8, Rupununi is Region 9. We still align ourselves with Region 9 because of the access that we have through the road. We are at the crossing in the center of Guyana, at the Kurupukari crossing. As we go farther down south, that's heading out now into the Rupununi. So we work very closely with these communities, about 20 indigenous communities, and about 90% or so are from the communities. They come in and they provide the services from the lower end right up to management. We also boast of having over 50% of that staffing for females. This group is a very vulnerable group, and they are even in managerial position, etc. And the whole idea behind our model and our mission is really to promote conservation, promote biodiversity, promote sustainable development, and to be that model moving forward. So in a nutshell, basically that's what we do, as our mission statement is stated. Next slide. Next slide, Jen. Right, so some of our products and services include accommodation, include food and beverages, and several tours, activities that we're involved in. In particular, we have about 9 waterfront cabins, and these are located right in front of the mighty Iwokrama River. And these cabins are all set up in such a way that you could just come to the balcony, relax your hammock, and you have a really waterfront view of such. And these cabins are self-contained. They're private washroom facility, all basic amenities you will have in those cabins. In addition to that, and because of the different type of visitors we have a particular building referred to as our researchers room. It's like the middle range, and it's shared washroom facility. We have 6 like that. So people who are coming in probably mid-range budget will decide to use those rooms. Folks that stay there also would spend longer time involved in extended activities as it relates to research. In addition to that, we have what we call training rooms, more geared towards students. The students who came, they spend longer time, and they go into the forest more in field camp condition also, and they, partake in these accommodation settings. So we put all of that together. We got about 33 beds that could comfortably fit that amount of persons passing through at the River Lodge at any one time. Of course, it could get more personal if people shared, and then you can have big groups passing through. Our average person that stay a night is like 2 to 3 nights. Those are the length of stay that we have. We're looking to now promote that to increase those length of stay, and to indicate that these cabins and our rooms are there to provide that facility for visitors passing through to Iwokrama. Of course, the rates will differ from these three accommodation modes. The cabins, the private ones are the self-contained, they are the more high end, and the researcher rooms are the middle, and then the training rooms are at the lower end of the rate sheet. Next slide. Right, so there are three main packages that we are presently doing, and there are several others that are in the making. They're already would have commenced, but not as established as the first three. The first three deals with groups coming in to spend one night, and these are all-inclusive package for the accommodation, their meals, and their activities. Then you have groups who will come in for 2 nights, again very similar, but in addition to that, they will have more activities. And then there's a package for 3 nights, and one of the nights is spent in the campsite setting, and they have additional activities. So those are our 3 main packages that we have. We refer to them as the Bullet Wood, the Purple Heart, and the Green Heart package. So folks come in, and then we provide the necessary service, all the internal transfers, the accommodation, and the meals and activity. Recently, we've launched our fishing package, which is a catch and release fishing package. This is for over 7 nights. We take you downstream into the deeper water of the Essequibo. We refer to it as the Essequibo River Cat Run. We're targeting mainly those catfish, and they tend to be sturdy fish, but you find them mostly in the deep waters downstream and upstream. So guests coming through, they can choose their 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights, 7 nights. Of course, we have assigned boats to them, 2 persons per boat. They will have their own fishing equipment. They reel in the combo. We provide a guide service. We provide a captain service. And it's an all-inclusive package there also. So you've got the meals, you've got the accommodation, and in particular, these fishing tours. We've had 2 so far. We're looking to now increase that and to have buyers coming through, customers coming through, and be involved in this particular package. Another one is our boarding package, which goes for 6 nights, 7 nights. We're doing birding presently, but the birds fit into 2 nights and the 3 nights where people would follow suit for those nights. And instead of doing general, they are focused on birds. But this one that we are working towards, we had one already, is 7 nights full birding all along within Iwokrama Forest. It's a large area, it's about 1 million acres of rainforest. So we have the area where people can go at different locations, different sites, have different experience with different bird species. That is an upcoming and very interesting package. We're reaching out to operators, travel agency to really push some of these packages to have them more frequent. And the final one that we have, it's our health and wellness yoga and meditation package. This goes over 3 nights where those people who are practicing or keen or enthusiastic about health and wellness, you have the whole forest as their background, as their source of energy, their source of inspiration. We have 2 like this recently. We're expecting a recce team coming in next month and another group coming through 2026. So again, exciting to packages that we're putting together. Once we have the right partners, that type of partnership, we expect that these packages will continue to, extend and to experience some amount of growth. As it relates to our activities, next slide. Next slide, Jenna. Right, so we, in addition to our packages, these are some of our activities that are included in the package. They're mountain bikes, they're hikes, their canopy walkway. Canopy walkway, it's located at the Maushipara location. That's the other property we have. So in addition to the River Lodge, which is the Kurupukari crossing, we have another property for it is the Atta Lodge. The Atta Lodge is also located within the Iwokrama forest. However, that is managed by private sector operator and the communities. But as a part of the Iwokrama, so you would have that canopy experience. It's basically like a day tour where you go and you have that experience walking about over 100 feet above the forest floor. Mountain hikes, one of our highlights. The tour, it's a leisurely walk. It's nothing too strenuous, nothing too stuff that folks can do. It's to go through to the Turtle Mountain before there's a Turtle Mountain, because there's a pond at the bottom of that area, and there's a lot of turtles around. Right at the top, you have the mountain. So before to that is Turtle Mountain. And then there's another area on the access road where we take guests to have a view of beautiful waterfalls in the forest. So these are two of our hiking package that we have available. Of course, the mountain bikes tours are in and around the trails and links to one of our community. There is one community within Iwokrama, for it is the Fairview Village, and we're working closely with them in terms of our cultural activity, in terms of promoting their village as also a community-based tourism operation and enterprise. Next slide, Jenna. Some additional activities. Next slide. Right, birding was mentioned earlier. And you have these road and river wildlife spotting experience. Majority of folks that visit us come to have this particular experience. They want to go out into the forest. They want to see these animals. Of course, the animals are not there. They're not staying there. They wouldn't wait. By the time you have a sighting for this animal, you say, look a monkey or look a paca or look a water dog. By the time you could really get your attention, these animals are gone. But they're there, so we use the waterway during the morning and at night to do these spotting activities. Of course, we go out with our bites, etc., to have eye shiny collecting back to us. And then we have the road safaris, the latter part of the evening coming out in the nighttime. Sometimes we would go very early in the morning to a particular location for jaguar spotting. The last sighting I've experienced was in January. That's quite a while ago, and that was done early in the morning. Monkeys, definitely different species of monkeys, macaws, parrots, different species of birds, toucans, you name it. We've experienced that. Some of the bigger animals, the caimans, the water dog. Not too much sighting of the largest freshwater turtle, but it's around. People would be excited with that also. And of course, the anaconda, so that's sighted on the main road. So these are some of our activities that we will have. The other one is our indigenous culture experience. We work closely with the Fairview Village and the Surama community and folks who are coming in for the cultural experience. We work closely with them to put together a particular package where they would experience not only their song and their dance and their life, but also get a glimpse of their cuisine, their local cuisine that they would have, their food and beverage. And if some folks would come and even want to learn to do some of these things, we would provide that with the communities and work closely with them. Next slide. Just in addition to the accommodation and activities, we provide full services. We do have 3 location where we provide this. We have the main building before to the Fred Articog building. So there's the upper floor. We have our kitchen area where we provide that. Not too far away, we have a barbecue area. So people who might afford to dine outside and to have that barbecue setting like. And then we have the Turtle Mountain campsite where people who are going to overnight will have that area, but mostly like for camping, etc. So those are the three main areas where we provide our meals. Of course, all of these locations will have the different forms of meals provided. All the meals are buffet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's open up for the guests who are at the lodge or at the cabins. Those who might be staying also in the forest room and even in the training room. Their local cuisine is done by our local staff. So, you know, food brings everybody together, and we'll be having some excellent review on our food, the variety, etc. Next slide. Locally, we work very closely with our counterparts in the Rupununi, and they do have a body where all tour operators, tour guides, and other facility use the Visit Rupununi as one of their key umbrella body. We were part of that body also. We, you know, complement each other instead of competing against each other. So there's several other lodges and property along, and we would work together to build several packages to include their properties. So guests would come in, spend a few nights by us, go to another property, etc. So Visit Rupununi has been very instrumental in ensuring that these stakeholders in the Rupununi and the communities receive full benefits. Of course, definitely the Guyana Tourism Authority is our local compliance body. This is the body that ensures that standards and compliances are across the line. Lodges are required to be registered with the Guyana Tourism Authority to maintain that standard right across. So even if you visit us or you visit Kaicho or you visit some other location along the coast, you're expected to have the same level of service because the Guyana Tourism Authority ensure that people who are visiting are going to places that are registered by the Guyana Tourism Authority. So that's one of our key partners. Also, the private sector with the Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana that capture all of the private sector bodies and make representation on behalf of the other key stakeholders. So in a nutshell, these are our three main. Of course, we do have the community of Sorama. We have tour operator, Wilderness Explorer, Dapper Tours, Run Aliga Boarding Tours, Leon Mo Boarding Tours. So there are several other players that we work very closely with to ensure not only Iwokrama is promoted, but Visit Guyana is promoted to a large extent. Next slide, please. Right, and to wrap it up, just a few images of where we located. Those are the waterfront cabins from the front view. So you come in through by the waterway, you have that really nice view going into the lodge of itself. Next slide. Presently, our Iwokrama River Lodge website is near completion, and hopefully we have the link that provide quick and easy access bookings where people could just go online and make their bookings like immediately and have a response, etc. We don't have a minimum number required. The big challenge here is how to get here. I am at the lodge presently, as I mentioned, we're about 300 km away from the city. To get to us, you need to come by the road as one option. In the good weather time, it takes about 7 to 9 hours from Georgetown. In the rainy season, it could take about 12 to 15 hours. That's a big challenge. Also, you could come by aircraft. It's only about an hour, 15 minutes or so. So there's several airlines that will come into the region by charter. And there's one particular airline that does a shuttle flight every Wednesdays, uh, Fridays, Sundays, and Mondays. That's Air Services Limited. Of course, our numbers are there. We're available 24/7. We can respond to you very quickly through WhatsApp. You send a message to us, we try to respond as quickly as possible. So while we're located in Georgetown, where our main office is, our operation here at Kurupukari is also operating 24/7. So people can give you our call and say they're passing through, they're coming from Brazil or they're coming from Georgetown, they want to stop in, they want accommodation, they want to do some tours. We're open. Once we do have availability, we could accommodate them as much as possible. Of course, we do have our social media platforms and links, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, etc. Those are some of the ways that we could also use to make bookings on your visit to Iwokrama. Next slide. Iwokrama is a home away from home. And the thing that make it really special is our staff. We're very friendly. We welcome our folks that come in through to spend some time with us. We want to encourage you also to become a friend of Iwokrama. We have some details so we can make contact with on the screen there. But we're here to receive you. We're here to welcome you. Make it a must to visit us soon. So I guess that should brings us to the end. Next slide.
There we go. I think that is the last slide there, Mike.
Great. So
Perfect.
if you do have any questions, feel free to ask, and I can try my best to, respond to you.
Yes, so it seems like we have a few questions already come through. Thank you so much for that great presentation. I myself have not had the chance to visit Iwokrama yet, so I'm hoping that next year that is in my future, because it seems like an amazing place. And thank you so much for sharing a little bit about the magic. So if you do have any questions for Michael, you can feel free to type them through now. It looks like we do have a few already, so I will get started on those. And of course, again, if you do need to jump off, the rest of this session will be recorded, and I will send out the recording to everybody. So if you do need to jump off for any reason, don't worry. All right, so if you wanted to get to Iwokrama from Georgetown over water, how long would that take? And is it possible?
Right. It's right. That's a great question. When we started, I could recall there were several boat operators. These are operators with jet boats. They would leave the Perico, which is right out into the Essequibo, and then come up this side. They would take about 8 hours, sometimes 12 hours or so. But this could only be done in extreme high water, because along the way there are rapids, there are falls, there are sandbanks, there are rocks. To navigate through that in the low water is not possible. So this can only be done in extreme high water time, which is around May, June, July, those 3 months. And yes, I've experienced that in the early times, but not recently. Most of the folks come by road and by flight now.
So that kind of leads into this next question that I have. So you talked about the high water season being in, our summer months here in North America. Is that a time that you would advise people to come visit Guyana, or to come visit Iwokrama region more specifically, or what would be the best time for guests to come visit Iwokrama?
Right. So because of once the rate come, it become a little bit more challenging to access us through the road, because it becomes messy. it's a off-road, and it could be, very, very distracting for folks to come in through. However, during that same time, that's when the rain comes, you then have much more fruits and flowers and more easy access to wildlife sightings. So it's much more frequently observed. But how we're set up, most of our visitors come in the drier time.
Perfect. And what months would those be? Just to clarify that, what best
you
months?
got from, right. So from mid-September to around April, at the end of April, and then once that April pass, you have May, June, July, August. Those are the wet season. Those are the rainy time. During that time, you will find the students coming through. They spend longer time.
Okay.
They go, of course, into campus area, etc.
And where are the students coming from primarily? Are they coming from Guyana? Are they coming from other international destinations?
Right. So you got, we work closely with some of the university. There's a program referred to as Operation Walisi. This will have students from various universities across the world, and then they would come in to us and spend those times. There's several other universities, can't really pull them up presently, but we work closely with them, and they come from time to Iwokrama. Of course, right, the locals, the University of Guyana, we're open up all the time. They have access throughout, and they could come anytime to us.
And of course, if a guest or a tourist guest wants to come or wants to get a presentation and learn more about the research center during their visit, I presume that that's something that you guys can arrange to show them around, etc.
Yes.
Okay.
Our staff complement include forest rangers who are mostly aligned with our research program. So we could have a range and where they could come in and actually do some of the monitoring activities.
Awesome.
A lot of folks might not see a bird, but they could go and set a net and just do a catch and release, identify a bird and just release it out there. So you could have really cool research activities if people are interested in that. Matter of fact, that's another package that we're putting together, a conservation and an educational package where they would come in and they will have that educational conservation experience,
right,
dealing with that.
Oh, I think that's amazing. I know a lot of people are very interested in learning more about those projects, especially while they travel. So that's awesome.
Yep.
This question, and you're going to love this one, Mike. What is the best month or greatest opportunity to see the jaguar? Good luck answering that one.
Right. I recall in the presentation that the last time I come to one was in January this year. They tend to mate around December, January. That's what we experience, and they're out during that time. So the chances is higher in that particular month between December and January.
And
it's
I
not
just
guaranteed.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say there's no guarantee. Jaguars are very elusive.
Right.
So please
We
never
do have
sell Guyana as a jaguar spotting destination necessarily.
That one there, the image of that one, that was in January. That was a couple months in January. And we were on the main road. And of course, once we are traversing, the guide's eye is out. So while everybody's conversing, the guide's eye is out for any movement in the distance. And they have sharp eyes. So passing and just a glance on the side, and then you saw this animal, and all of a sudden, stop, reverse, and then the animal didn't even have time with you. They sit there and they just watch at you. But by the time everybody realized what they're looking at and began to congregate to take out their cameras, and he would watch, wiggle his tail, and just head back into the forest. That was a cool sighting, and this was a couple since January. So between December, January, those are, with our experience, they're on the main road.
Perfect. Well, I think let me just double check. I think that's all the questions that we've gotten through. However, I know everybody should have my email. So if you do have questions or anything you want me to pass along to Mike, or if you want me to connect you with him or anybody from the Iwokrama team, I'm more than happy to do so. So my email address is jenna@emergingdestinations.com. I will be sending you the webinar follow-up later this week. So you can just reply to me there. And as I mentioned before, we do have all of our webinars or previously recorded webinars available on our Emerging Destinations YouTube channel as well. We have an entire Guyana folder, so please feel free to peruse there. There's some great content, and we're more than happy to provide a one-on-one training with you and your team if there's something that you want to delve a little bit further into. So thank you, Michael, for your time today. I know that you guys are crazy busy over there with groups, etc., coming in. So we really appreciate you taking the time to tell us a bit more about the lodge. And thank you, everyone, for joining us as well.
Great. Thanks, Jenna. Thanks a lot for hosting us.
And we hope to welcome your clients at Iwokrama soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Tuesday.